to the channel. Today I want us to look at how you can go about filling out the GKS application form. Excuse me, I need to share the live to my Facebook and on other platform. Please make sure you share the live so that others can also benefit. You know, it's always nice to reach out to others. There might be people who might have difficulties in filling out the application form to apply for the South Korean government scholarship. So make sure you share it to the different platforms. If you're on WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, please make sure you share it so that we can reach more people. I made a video last time on the application guideline for the Global Korean Government Scholarship graduate version. Today we are going to look at how you can go about filling out specifically the application form. That is a 2025 application form for graduate students who want to do either a master or a PhD in South Korea. That being said, let's begin by me sharing my screen. Okay. The first thing that you need to do is go to Google and then type study in Korea, and then it will take you to this page. I hope my screen is being shared. Please give me a second. Let me make sure my phone is on so that I can be seeing myself in real time. Please do well to share in the different groups that you might be at. Okay, everything seems to be moving smoothly. Okay, so click on this page and then it will take you to the Study in Korea website. If it happens to appear in English, there is this area here. I know it is in Japanese, but basically this is languages, so you will need to select English. But if you go down where you see GKS, you would have access to the application forms. It says here 2025 GKS application guidelines for the studies. And then if you go down, so this is it down here, you would find the application guideline. It is in zip form. You have the application form. That's where you would find the application checklist, letter of recommendation, medical, and every other document that you would need to submit, required documents. And then here is the university information. You have two zipped files for university information: zip file university information 1, zip file university information 2. Let me make sure I'm audible. Volume check. Okay. So if you click on them, you can download them. If you click here, you would have access to the file. You would download them. But I already have them downloaded. So I already have them here. This is University Information 1, University Information 2, the application guideline, and then the application form. So if you click here, you'll find the different university files, from Aju University right down to Kim Young, Aju in Suwon. Did I just invert that? Aju in Suwon, and then Kim Young in Daegu. There's KDI in Daejeon. The list continues. You have Kongju right down to Sanshin Yode. I don't know what Songshin Yode. I don't know why they decided to include this one, but in Korean language. After Yonsei, you have Songshin Yode. That's Songshin Women University. Yode Yoja. And then here is the application guideline in English and in Korean. This is the Korean version, and then this is the English version. And then this is the application form. If you click on it, you would open it, but I already have it open. I already have it open here, and then I have some files. In the application guideline, I did explain certain things. If you look here, this is Korea University in Seoul. It says here embassy track. It means you can apply through this university as embassy track, and then the available track program also is general, because there is general, there is regional GKs. So for example, if you go here, this one is Yeongnam Daehakyo. That's Yeongnam University in Yeongnam, right next to Daegu. Yeongnam is actually under Daegu. I'm saying so because I used to live in Daegu. I kind of know Daegu a bit. So you have Yeongnam University. It says it is embassy track as well, and then it is B, which means normally with embassy track you can select up to 3 universities with at least one from type B. Can we kind of check the application guideline for a bit? Kind of transition from Windows to Mac, so I'm kind of to MacBook. I'm kind of still struggling to understand how the MacBook system works, after having lived your whole life using Windows, and then suddenly you decide to switch to Mac for some reasons that are beyond your control. Okay, so this is the, can we make this bigger? This is the application guideline. If you go down, you would find down here there is embassy track, and then there's university track, and then if you go down again, you find the different universities. Type A, most of the universities here, like I did explain in my application guideline video, the video is on the channel. Most of the universities here are in Seoul, but not every university is in Seoul. GIST, that's Gwangju Institute of Science and Technology, is in Gwangju. And then there is also KDI, School of Public Policy, is in Daejeon. Posttech is in Pohang. It's a seaside area also. And then you have Ulsan, University of Science and Technology. That one is also in Ulsan, right next to Busan. So some of the universities are not basically in Seoul, because it is important to note that most of the regional universities, that's ROGKS, which are mostly under type B, are mostly out of Seoul, the capital of South Korea. And then most of the type A are in Seoul, but some universities are very popular, and they are like research institutions that are like very well regarded by South Korean government. For example, Posttech is a science and technology institution or university, and then there is also Ulsan. There is KAIST, which is also in Daejeon. Those are reputable universities. If you study in those universities, there are some advantages that you get, like it eases the path for you to get a permanent resident. So you must select at least 1 or 2 from this list, and then 1 from this other list. So it's very important that you take note of that. So let's continue with the how to fill out the application form. So I was explaining that some of the universities are under type B, and they are also general or ROGKS. So when filling out the form, make sure you don't make any mistake. And then also, this is a Seoul Shilim, that's University of Seoul. This one is also type A, and it's also under general, because you have to select the type when filling out the form. Now, this is the application form, the 2025 Global Korea Scholarship Graduate Degree Program. That's for those who want to do either a master or a PhD in South Korea. You have to select your track. I have other videos on the channel where I explain the different tracks. Embassy track simply means you apply through your home country embassy. But if it happens that you don't have an embassy in your home country, sorry, if you see me not looking at the camera, it is because I have my computer this way. Embassy track is through the embassy, which means you submit your documents to your local embassy in your home country. But if it happens that you don't have an embassy, but your country is on the list of countries that are eligible for the Global Korean Government Scholarship, you can apply through the nearest embassy, but you need to make sure you contact the embassy and make sure. But if you know that your country people do receive visa from that country, it means your country is under that embassy. But you can kind of call them or email them to find out if they are accepting application forms for GKS. University track simply means you send your documents directly to the university in South Korea. So you begin by name of institution receiving the document. So in this case, if you choose embassy track, then here you would write the embassy in your home country. If you choose university track, then you would have to write the university that you're applying to. For example, if you say Seoul National University, then you have to write Seoul National University. You see that when you type, it kind of extends the line. You would have to delete and then make sure everything comes back to the same line. The most important thing is the information. Don't worry too much about the line, but if you know how to edit it and make the line to be under, it's okay. And then the next thing is you have to write down your name, your family, given, and middle name. So everyone has a family name, they have a given name, and they also have a middle name. So just follow it and then write it as you see it on your birth certificate, or write it as it is on your passport without skipping anything. The most important thing is that you provide other documents where they can kind of look at your information. Next thing is your country of residence. So let's say you're from India, you write India. It's okay to write everything in capital letters, but it's also okay to begin with the first one being cap and then the rest in small. So you write your country of residence, and then you must submit a checklist. This is a checklist. Normally here there is a required document and also there is optional document. Some documents are required. For example, from 1 to 10 are required documents. So you have to take note of the fact that from 1 to 10 is required documents. So you must provide a checklist. So you have to check all of this. If you have questions, please let me know. Okay, so I think we've selected all the 10. So if you are applying for a master's degree program, you will select master's. But if you are applying for a doctoral degree, select doctoral. If you are applying to go and do a research program, then select research. But for research students, they don't need to provide any study plan. And then letter of recommendation, it's Form 5. You have to supply at least one letter of recommendation. I've explained these things in most of my videos. There are tons of videos on the channel on the Global Korean Government Scholarship. Please do well to share for those who are online. I see 2 people on Facebook. I don't know the number of people that might be available on YouTube and the rest. Do well to share to others. And then there are other documents that you would have to provide that are also required documents. For example, the first one is proof of citizenship. I did explain that proof of citizenship is your birth certificate. If your birth certificate has information about you, that it has your names and the names of your parents, your mom and your dad, and their country of birth as well as your country of birth, you can use just your birth certificate. But if it happens that your birth certificate carries your name, but it does not say that you were born maybe in India, maybe in Nigeria, maybe in any country, then you have to provide an extra document. It is called a supplementary document. But know that you would have to authenticate your birth certificate or apostille your birth certificate. You don't need to apostille the supplementary document. So don't waste your money on that. But if you want to apostille the supplementary document, it's okay, they will still accept it. But the rule, the application guideline says no need to authenticate. Most people have had it without authenticating the extra or supplementary document. So you don't need to worry about that. If your birth certificate, for some of us, our birth certificate does carries our country of birth, our parents' names, and their country of birth. So we did not have to supply these extra documents. But so if it happens that your birth certificate does not have your country of birth, that is when you would have to provide an extra document like your passport, your parents' passports. If it does not also, if your birth certificate does not also include their country of birth, because they want to make sure you don't have any relationship in Korea. That means they want to make sure your mom, your dad, any of your parents has a Korean citizenship, because this scholarship is for basically for those who are not Koreans. So it's important that you provide a document with respect to that. So you can either provide your birth certificate. No, if your birth certificate does not carry your country of birth, make sure you provide your passport or your government issued ID card. So you have to provide this one. It's required for both masters and PhD as well as research students. And then there is also this one. It's required if you're applying for a master's degree or PhD, you have to provide your transcript. It has to be authenticated as well. That's why it says here must be apostille or consular confirmed. I did explain the meaning of apostille. Apostillization is for those who come from a country that is under the Convention of Countries that can apostille documents. And then consular confirmed simply means for some country you would go to your Ministry of Education, your Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then you would end at the Korean embassy or consulate or any Korean representative in your home country that is responsible for this type of information. They would place their stamp on that document. They must see your original and then provide an extra document that you would use, or a copy of that document that has been signed on. With that document, you can then use it to apply for the scholarship. You don't need to provide your original documents. So for master's students, they'll provide their master's degree or transcript authenticated. For PhD students, they'll provide their master's degree authenticated. So if you're applying for a master's degree, you provide your bachelor's degree certificate and transcript. If you're applying for a PhD, you provide your master's degree and master's degree transcript. That's the certificate and transcript authenticated. If you're applying for the research program, you provide your master's degree and transcript and certificate authenticated. And then there are other extra documents for those who are doing research. So if you're into research, you would have to provide your doctoral degree graduation certificate here and the transcript, and then certificate of employment for those who are doing research. I know most of the people offline are not workers. And then there are extra documents that are just super optional. So topic and English proficiency, they are optional, but they do provide extra points. It's very important. If you watch the video that I explained the application guideline, you would understand. It will give you an advantage. It will give you an advantage. So if you have topic as well as an English proficiency, be it IELTS or TOEFL, provide photocopies. If you have awards, provide them. It does not give point, but it does say something about you. And then copy of passport. They are optional. If you have it, provide it. If you don't have it, it's okay. But if it happens that your birth certificate does not carry your country of birth, you'd have to provide your passport or your ID card when applying. Okay, that is it. Then now, Form 1. Form 1 is the application form itself. If you are applying for embassy track, you have to select embassy track, and then you're either applying for a general, so you have to select general. Unfortunately, this one, the click seems not to work on general, but you can use a pen, or you can go up in the other video. I don't know how to use this MacBook, but normally there is an option where you can kind of copy this tick mark. I have another video on this channel for GKS 2023 to GKS 2024. I'll provide links down. You can go and watch those videos and see how you can look for this sign in Microsoft Word. Normally, I think it's on insert. It's going to take me some time. I don't have that time for that. Let's continue. So you have to select general, or if you are an overseas Korean, then you select overseas Korean. If you are international reconstruction talent, if you are from Ukraine, then you would have to select this one. So know that you have to select a track. But if it happens that you're applying through university track, then you have to select university track. In university track, there are some options. The first one is general GKS, and the second one is regional GKS. So you have to decide. For general GKS, they can select either from type A or type B university, but regional GKS must only select from type B universities. It's very important. Research and development, I don't know if there is anyone applying here who is for research and development, but there won't be that many, so there's no point wasting too much time. And then there's also this one, international organizations program. These are extra programs that have been added. The number of people applying for this will be too little. If you happen to be applying for that and you have issues with the application process, you can message me on either Facebook or Instagram, or just comment on my Facebook or Instagram, and also try to follow me on Facebook, Instagram. So they say, let's say you want to apply through university track. We will do university track. Embassy track is also the same thing. I don't want the video to be too long, but I'll explain university track and embassy track in this video. So if you're applying for a master, you have to select master. If you're applying for a doctoral program, then you have to select doctoral program. If you're applying for research, you have to select research. So you have to decide. Let's say we're applying for a master's program, because the majority will be applying for masters. You have to select desired field and division. This is where these documents come into play. It's important that you look at these documents, because every university has a way of listing these things. There is here department, and then field of study, division. Don't go and mix up things. And most importantly, when applying for GKS, make sure you look at language requirements. Some degree programs are 100% Korean language. Some are Korean and English. For example, these ones are Korean and English, which means if you take a degree program that is 100% Korean language, you must have topic level 3 or above. But know that it will be difficult for you to study, which means if you go to South Korea, you must take Korean language very seriously. You must take Korean language very seriously. Getting topic level 3 does not mean you can speak Korean language. You might be able to manage, but you will still struggle. So you should be aiming to study Korean language even after getting topic level 3 or more. But it will all depend on how serious you are. 1 year is more than enough for you to obtain even topic level 5 or 6. 1 year is more than enough if you are being paid to study. You have your monthly allowance, you go to school, come back every day, you do your assignments and everything. You will get even topic level 4 or 5, and you would improve significantly. Korean language is not a very difficult language. I'm speaking based on the fact that I do speak the language, and right now I'm learning Japanese language, and Korean language is really helping me to learn Japanese language because the language structure is the same. That being said, I digress. Go back. So you have to select your division. Is it in liberal arts, social science, natural science, medicine, education? You have to select. So let's just go with social science. We select social science. You have to, this one doesn't work as well, so you have to place a check mark on that. You have to place a check mark on that. And then let's say we want to apply to study at Yeongnam University. They have one social science program, Department of Media and Communication. So the field of study here will be social science. And then next thing, you have to go and write down your full name. Write your full name. I cannot write names here because Facebook, Instagram will block it because it's like revealing personal information. But you have to write your information, your names, your family name, your given name, and then your middle name. So if your name is John Doe William, write. If your family name is Doe, you write Doe John Williams. Write it there. You have to put a picture as well. And then here is date of birth. The previous videos that I have on the channel have details about this information, so you should also watch those videos. Date of birth, it is normally year, month, and day. As you can see here, they've added an example. And then Songbyul, gender, you have to select. If you're a male, select male. If you're a female, select female. Remember, you have to put a picture, glue a picture there. And then Kukchok, citizenship, you have to write down your country. It can be Nigeria, it can be India. You have to write it there. And then next thing is Korean citizenship. Applicant, no. You have to select no, because if you say yes, then you've been disqualified. If you have a Korean citizenship, you are not eligible for the Global Korean Government Scholarship. So applicant's parents, yes. If one of your parents has Korean citizenship, if you say yes, you're also disqualified. So here, for you to be eligible, it should be no and no. So make sure none of your parents has a Korean citizenship, even a permanent resident. Current or previous GKS. Have you ever had a GKS scholarship? You have to either say yes or no. You have to say yes or no. So if you say yes, then maybe you went for a bachelor's degree, then you have to write down the degree that you achieve. You have to write down the degree that you achieve. So for example, if you obtain a degree in maybe urban development, then you would say BA in urban development. I don't know if it's a BA or it's an MSc. So you will have to write down the degree, or you can say bachelor's degree, master's degree. Bachelor's degree in urban development, master's degree in urban development. You have to write it there, degree achieved. And then contact information, you have to input your address, your full address. Some people don't have address in their country. You have to give something, even a church address. It's okay. It's not like they will contact you, but you would have to provide an address. In most cases, they will be contacting you through emails. And then next thing, phone number. Write down your phone number with a plus, which means the plus and the first 2 or 3 numbers will be the code for your country. So some countries have +237, some have +234, some have +2 something, +8, plus. You have to write down the code number and then finish it with the phone number. And then next one is email. You have to input your email. It should be n.something or maybe natalie.something or at gmail.something. You need to input an email. It's very important. And then now, choice of universities. If you're applying through embassy track, you have to select embassy track. If you're applying through university track, you have to select university track and then write down the name of the university. So type A or type B. They've said university track type A or type B. But know that if you've selected RGKS, it should come from type B. If you've selected RGKS, it should come from type B. Take note of that. So here you would have to write the name of the university. So for example, maybe this one is for university embassy track students. You select embassy track And then the name of the university, let's say it is what is this university here? Korea University. Then you write Korea University. You have to delete everything. And then field division. If you go back here, you would find field division. So let's say we want to study humanities and social science, and you would write here humanities and social science. Is there a means for me to copy and go and paste? Command C should copy, I guess. So you write humanities and social science here. Still learning to use mark. Okay. And the next thing is department. What is the department? The department here is, maybe you want to study law. You write the international law. As it is written on the document, follow the process, international law. There should be some separation here. And then optional. It is important for you to select this option because this university, Korea University, might decide that you are not eligible for international law, but maybe you might be eligible for something else. Maybe you might be eligible for, where is another social science program? Maybe business administration. So you would go here and then write business administration. So that is like your second choice for that university. And then you do the same. Normally here, this one is supposed to be not italicized. Normally they want you to use 11 font size. Okay. I think this is aligned to the center. Everything should be aligned to the center. Okay. And then you go and select another type B university, maybe Yonsei University, select the division, select the department, the degree major that you want to study, and then an optional degree in case you're not selected. So you have to select 2 type A and 1 type B. So make sure you do that. So you select 3 choices, 1, 2, and 3. So you select type B. But if you're applying through university track, then we can just simply fill it out down here. What the heck? You basically fill out the same information down here. And then field of study, you bring down the humanities and social science down here. Department, you bring down the department here. And then your second option, in case they don't accept you for that major, always make sure you include that option because you never know. You might not be eligible based on the university requirements for entry into that degree program. So it's very important that you do that. So, but know that if you're going through university track, you must select university track down here. Now, level of education, you have to input your They say high school degree program. So if you went to a high school, make sure you write down the name of the high school. Maybe it is Calcutta High School, maybe some high school somewhere in Nigeria, Aba High School, Igbo High School, whichever. Make sure you write it here. Sorry if I'm not calling your country. Location, the name of the country. Where is that country? Is it Nigeria? Is it India? You have to make sure you input it. It's not supposed to be red, so make sure you use everything black and black. And then year of graduation, when did you graduate from high school? And then bachelor's degree, if you had bachelor's degree, maybe it was at University of Aba, maybe you write University of Aba, or maybe University of India, University of, write the name of your university. Location, where is that university? Is it in India? Is it in Nigeria? Is it in Tanzania? Is it in Pakistan? Make sure you write the name of the country. And then degree major, was it a BA in or a BSc in maybe engineering, a BA in whatever? You have to write down the major. Maybe a BA in law or a Master of Science in law. Some countries do place those things in science or social sciences. You have to write it as it is. Date of graduation. If you really want to have a detailed information, I refer you to the past GKS last year. I did actually typed everything. In this video, I'm basically explaining. I'm not really going into the typing thing because sometimes YouTube does suppress videos when you input information in it. So date of graduation, when did you graduate? You have to make sure you write the year, the month, and the day. If you have a thesis, did you write a thesis? Did you write a thesis at your bachelor's degree level? Then input the title of the thesis. Do you have some publications? Maybe you did publish articles. Write down the title. You must make sure you write down the title of those research publications. It's very important. Some professors will accept you basically for this because they need people to be in their lab for research purposes. So do not minimize it. If you have a thesis, if you've researched and wrote a thesis, make sure you provide the title of that thesis. It's going to help you. Don't ignore it. It's not a requirement, but because Korea is a research intensive country, they are very much into research. Most university professors will accept students who have an idea in research. It's very important. So if you have a thesis, input the title. If you have a paper that you've published, maybe online in a journal, input the title. And then next thing is master's degree required for doctoral and research students. So for those who are doing a doctoral program, they will fill out high school, bachelor's, and then they would also fill out their master's degree, university where they did their master, the location or the country, and then the degree major. Is it a master of science in engineering? Is it a master of science in law, or maybe public law? And then date of graduation, it should always be year, month, day. That's how South Koreans do things. In some countries, day, month, year. Title of thesis, if available. But if you have a thesis, it's an advantage, just so you know. If you've published books and maybe papers, it's an advantage. If you're going into a master's degree, you should know these things. If you're going into a PhD, you should know these things. These are things that those of us who've gone that high in education, we understand the importance of these things. And then doctoral student required for postdoctoral. These are people who've already obtained a PhD, and this section is filled by those who've already obtained a PhD. They want to go and do a research. If you are applying for a PhD, you would earn at this level. You earn at the level of masters. You fill out your master's degree program. But for those who are going in for a research degree program, this is basically workers. You would have to fill out this page as well. And then GPA. This is one of the areas where many people still struggle. It is very simple. I've explained this in detail in the application guideline video that I made on Sunday. I did explain the GPA, the CGPA. For some countries, let me say it again, for some countries, they don't have GPA per semester or cumulative grade point average per semester. They don't have a GPA for the first semester. They don't have a GPA for the second semester. That is, if your country has 2 semesters. For some countries that have 3 semesters, they don't have a GPA for all the 3 semesters. They only have graduation GPA. If you have only a graduation GPA, then write the graduation GPA here. And then if your GPA is within one of the ranks, there is 4.0, 4.3, there is 4.5 and 5.0. You have to write it here. If your GPA is on a scale of, maybe you have the 100 point scale, then write it here. If you do not have anything that is within this range, you would have to convert it either through Scholaria or any website, and then go to your school and ask them to give you a document that confirms, or they should put maybe a stamp on that converted grades. It is only valid if you have stamp from your home country school. It's very important. Let me repeat it again. If you don't have a GPA that falls within 4.0, 4.3, 4.5, 5.0, or a scale of 100 point, you must convert it to one of these points. And then you can convert it online and then go to your university and then ask them to confirm the conversion. You would then have to authenticate your original document that does not fall within this scale, and then provide that supplementary document that has been confirmed by your university. In this section, you just need to go on the, where is it even? You just have to go through this application guideline document. If you go down to the very last page, if you go down to the section that has the GPA or the CGPA page, you just need to look the range where you fall. It is between 80 and 100. That page is down. Sorry guys. Okay, this is the conversion table. So if you fall within this 4.0, you have to look here. Where do you fall on the 100 point scale? If you are on a 4.3, 4.5, 5.0, look where you fall. Let's say, for example, you fall within this range. You would go and write 90 on 100. Take note of that. You would go here and then include 90 in front. If you fall maybe somewhere around 80, you write 80. It's as simple as that. And then GPA indicated on the academic transcript of the previous degree program. This one now is for those who have their GPA per semester. If you have your GPA per semester, you need to input them here. Korea is indicating first and second semester because South Korea has 2 semesters per year. Some countries have 3. If you have 3, don't bother about this section. It's okay. Ignore it. If you have 3 semesters per year, don't bother. If you don't have semester per year GPA on your transcript, don't bother. End here. Just simply input your graduation GPA here. And that's it. As simple as that. But if you have GPA per year, you have to input them. I have other videos on the channel. You might want to watch the the past 2022-2023 application form document that I filled out online. For this video, I'm basically explaining previously received scholarship from Korean government. If you have ever received a scholarship from Korean government, maybe through NIIED, then you have to write NIIED here. So you just basically delete this and then change this color to black. NI. Then the next one, e.g. GKS non-degree program for foreign exchange student. If you've ever been to South Korea through any scholarship, any program, any other scholarship, mention the scholarship here. It is an advantage. It does indicate that you were once in Korea and you have some experience about South Korea, which means you've already experienced South Korea, and if you're granted the scholarship, living in South Korea might not be that much of a problem to you because you've already experienced Korea. So you have to indicate when were you in Korea. If you were in Korea for maybe a couple of months, a couple of days, indicate the date. Go look your passport where you have the visa and your entry and exit. Input the information there. It's simple. But if you don't have this experience, skip it. You don't need to fill it out. If you've had a scholarship in South Korea, input it. If you've had any other scholarship that is not from the government, you can go ahead and write the scholarship name. Maybe you've had a postcode scholarship, write postcode scholarship here, and then write the time that you were in Korea for the postcode scholarship. I have videos on the channel on postcode scholarship. And then if you've ever been to South Korea, maybe through a visit or maybe for Korean language, and then you went back home, you have to write the period, purpose of stay, maybe Korean language, maybe tourism, and then where did you go to? If you went to more than one place, name them here. Maybe you went to Seoul, you went to Daejeon, you went to Busan, you went to Busan, you went to Daegu, you went to Shincheon. Write them here. And then the type of visa. Was it a tourist visa? Was it a D4 visa? Write it there. It's very important. It's important. They say please put your visa type, especially if you are currently residing in Korea. If you are in Korea, it doesn't mean you cannot apply for the scholarship. The next thing is the answer I have given above are true and direct and correct to the best of my knowledge. So you have to write here date. You can write the date of today, the month, the day, and then your full name, and then make sure you sign. It's very important. Personal information. Personal statement. This is one of the key to the scholarship. You must make sure you get this right. That's why I always tell people, start preparing your personal statement long before the scholarship begins. They say you can type either in Korean or in English. I have videos on the channel on personal statement. I'll provide links down. But if it happens that I forget, check personal statement. I have about 4 or 5 videos on the channel on personal statement. I talk about different things on those videos, so you should probably check them out, all of them, if you want to have a chance, because there might be things that I've said in some videos that I didn't say in some. Okay, so there are certain things that you must take note of. You can delete this instruction later on, but it's okay. They say you should delete. They say please delete the instruction before submitting. So before you submit your personal statement, make sure the instruction is not part of your application. And you have to focus on this thing. Motivation with which you apply for this program. What is motivating you to study the degree program that you are applying for? Your educational background. How does it correlate or relate to your major that you're selecting? Yeah, your educational background should be part of your motivation. Significant experience you've had. What is it that you've had in life? I would make other videos on personal statement where I'll kind of give you some kind of clues as to what to write on personal statement. So make sure you're on this channel. I'll be on this channel probably every day talking about different things until the scholarship ends. Hopefully, if I go to work and come back and I'm not tired. So you have to write information about significant experience that you've had, personal events that have had significant influence on you. There should be something that must have touched you, that is making you, causing you to want to go and study the degree program. If applicable, describe awards you've received, publications you've made, or skills you've acquired. It's very important. They say if applicable, but they do help. They kind of tell them who you are. Others, extracurricular activities, community service, work experience. It is recommended to submit a supplementary document that can prove what you have described in this personal statement. Please number each document and submit them as other documents. Other documents can be submitted in simple photocopies without authentication. So, for example, if you've received awards, provide them. If you've had publications, provide them as other documents. They will help. So this is where you write your personal statement. So they've said here, it should be in the essay should be single space within 3 pages. Wow, this time around 3 pages with a font time, New Times Roman. If you don't know what New Times Roman is, this is it. This is what I'm actually using. I'm actually using New Times Roman. This is it here. You can find it on the Word document. And then also the point size should be 11. These are point size. It should be 11 here. Basically, you're filling out this application by making sure you're on Times New Roman and then 11 points. After writing your personal statement, date, applicant's name, and signature, full names, you must sign. Study plan. I have other videos on the channel on study plan. It's very important that you write a very good study plan. Personal statement and study plans are key to your success in this scholarship. Same thing, they say, please type in Korean or English. The essay must be single space within 3 pages with the font Times New Roman size 11. Please include the following items in your essay. Language study plan. You have to tell them you've already figured out how you go and study Korean language. Before and after Korea, goal of study, study plan, future study plan. We'll talk about that. I'll make other videos on the channel basically on personal statement and study plan in the days ahead. So you can delete the information up here once you're done, but this is where you would write your study plan. They say within 3 pages. Research proposal. This is basically for some departments, even for master students, but if it's possible, research proposal in this case is mostly for those who are doing research. So if you are applying for a master's, it does not really matter. If you are applying for a PhD, is it available on the checklist for PhD students? Because in most cases, you need a research proposal for PhD. But let's just look at PhD here. I don't see it here. But getting a research proposal is something, if you don't provide it in the application process, you would obviously provide a proposal when you get to Korea to your professor, because they would want to know what you want to research on, because you must do a publication. Letter of recommendation. Like I said, letter of recommendation, this is something that you must have discussed long ago before the scholarship is announced, so that you don't have any time factor with the person issuing you a letter of recommendation. In most cases, they say somebody who can attest to your academic ability, but before it was possible, I don't know if it's still going to be possible, because somebody has asked me this question. Before, it was possible for you to get it from an employer if you are working. If you're already working, you've already left school. But this is why you need to have a good relationship with your teachers. so that you can always contact them anytime to get these documents. But if you have a bad relationship with your professors, whenever you call them, I have professors who taught me more than 10 years ago that I'm still in contact with them, and whenever I need something, they are very much willing to help. You need to have good relationship with your professors for them to easily issue you this document, because this document is actually them talking about you, and they should be talking about you in a positive light. They shouldn't be telling the people offering you a scholarship that you're lazy, especially because they need to know that academically you're good. So it's important. Recommendation letter, like I was saying, you must make sure you fill out your name. Write your name, choose your degree program. Is it a master, is it a doctoral, or is it a research? You have to select one. Your intended major, what is the major? Is it a master of science in anthropology? Write it there. To be completed by your recommender. So normally you are supposed to fill out this top section and then send this document to your recommender. You must look for a way to delete everything, the other parts of the form, and then send only the section of this form that has to do recommendation. After you must have filled out your name, your degree, is it a master's degree program, and then the major that you want to study. Send it to your recommender for your recommender to fill them out and help you out. They say instruction for applicants: fill in section 1 and deliver or email this form to your recommender. So like I said, you can delete everything and leave only the section on letter of recommendation, and then send it through email or post it to your, but in most cases it should be through email so that the person can have the soft copy and then do it on a computer, because remember, Koreans use Korean language. They are not very used to ABC. So if somebody has to write a letter of recommendation with a pen, they might not be able to read that handwriting. So it's better for you to email it to them or deliver it through a USB to them so that they will recommend you. They have to recommend you by responding to the questions here. There are videos on the channel where I talked in detail about these different things, but we will still talk about them in days ahead, God willing. These are very important. Ability to work independently or as a team. The first one is key. The recommender will have to write their name, their affiliation, affiliated institution. So let's say they work for a university, they will have to write the name of the university, their title. Maybe it's a dean of the university, maybe a lecturer or a professor. They have to write their title. They have to include their email, their phone number. That's how they will begin. They will begin by filling out this section, and then they would type their letter of recommendation down here. They will have to respond to these questions down here on this page. They will have to delete this instruction and then type it, and then at the end they'll have to sign and then put their date. They don't need to include their name because they've already included their name up here. Letter of invitation. This one is for those who are going to do research. They would have to get a letter of invitation from the school in Korea. So it says here, this is required for research applicants only and must be completed by the staff or faculty of the inviting university. They say letter of invitation already completed in the previous 2024 form will be accepted in 2025. So if you have this letter of invitation that was issued to you using the 2024 GKS form, it's still fine. So I don't need to spend too much time on this because I don't know if there will be that many students applying for this program. Either way, most of the people who will be applying for these things are matured people like me. They already have an idea as to how these things work. Korean language program exemption. This one is for those who've already obtained maybe topic level 4, 5, 6, and they don't need to go to Korea and then learn Korean language again for a year. they would have to fill out this form. This form is for applicants who are currently university professors applying for a department that offers 100% English instruction. Fill out this form if you wish to be exempted for the 1-year Korean language program prior to degree program. So basically this one is for those who are going in for like the research, those who are already working. So you don't need to worry about it if you do not have any knowledge about Korean language, but you are going to do a degree program that offers everything 100% in English. That's when you would have to fill it out, and it is mostly for those who are going in for research degree programs, like I said. So we'll skip that one and go to GKS agreement. For the agreement, don't worry, there is nothing that you have to skip here. You have to check every box. You must check every box in this section. It's a must. If you disagree, this is not like they're giving you a choice. You must agree to everything here. Okay, I confirm that I've read all of the above conditions. I also understand them. So you have to agree to the GKS terms, and then day, year, month, your name, and then your signature. Normally when you print out a form, you can sign. So you have to write the day, the year, the month, and then your name. And then when you print out the forms before submitting, you have to sign in every part of the form where they say signature. Personal medical assessment, you have to be true to this. You have to also respond to this. There is no way for you to skip this. You must respond to everything here. Have you ever had an infectious disease that poses a risk to public health? I know most situation is no, unless you had maybe coronavirus. If you had coronavirus, then you can say yes and then indicate coronavirus or COVID-19. Do you have allergies? If you have some allergies, indicate. It's not going to cancel your scholarship, and then indicate the type of allergy. Some people have allergies when they eat certain fruits or when they drink certain medication. Say it. It's okay. Do you have hypertension? If it's yes. If you say yes to anything, you must explain. Basically, if you say yes to anything, you must explain. If you say no, you don't need to provide any explanation. Wherever you say yes, you must explain here. Do you have diabetes? You have to explain. Maybe there are types of diabetes, I don't know. Do you have hepatitis? If you say yes, you must explain. So you have to check every box here. It's either yes or no. You have to check every box, everything. You don't need to skip anything. Have you been hospitalized the last 2 years? If it's yes, you have to explain why. If it's yes, explain the type of illness that you had that caused you to be hospitalized. You have to write your name, signature, date, year, date, month, year, and then your full name. Consent to collect and use personal information. This one also, you don't have any choice. You have to provide them with this information because they need to make sure you're not providing them fake documents. So you have to agree. If you disagree, your application ends there. They don't need to process your application. So you have to agree to everything. So if they feel like there is something wrong with your bachelor's degree, they have the right to contact your school or even send somebody to your school to go and verify if you did not submit false document. So you'd have to write the year, the month, the day. If it's today, the 28th of January 2025, you write it there, and then your full name, and then when you print out the form, you would sign. So basically that's it about the application form. Now I'll be on this channel hopefully tomorrow, hopefully the next day. I'll take specific sections on the form and then talk about them. Maybe some day I'll talk about just the application checklist. Some days I'll talk about recommendation letters. Some day I'll talk about how to write a good personal statement. Someday I'll talk about how to write a study plan that can kind of give you the scholarship. So if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you do subscribe. This video has been very long, and I'll see you in the next one. I think in the days ahead we should be learning also some Korean language, maybe 3 minutes Korean language every day. What do you guys think? Let me know. I used to do that before. That being said, it's already past 10 right now, and I should get ready to go to bed so that I'll be Himi Ipta, strong enough for work the next day. See you guys.